everybody, welcome to our Phase 3 Letters and Sounds video. At Phase 3 the children learn the single letter graphemes that they did not learn at Phase 2. Specifically these are J for jug, J, 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 V for van, V, W for window, W, 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 X, which is the sound you hear at the end of fox. Y for yo-yo, y, y, y. Z for zebra. The children also learn that this digraph, two letters that make one sound, two Zs can also make the Z sound. They learn qu, and our helpful picture is queen. When they're ready, they move on to what we call consonant digraphs. These are two consonants that work together to make one sound. We have ch, and on the back it has our memorable catchphrase, chunky chips. So we play games with the children, whereas if they see this side, they say ch, if they see this side, they say chunky chips. It just helps to embed it in their memory. So we have ch, sh, a fish on a dish, a moth in a bath. There are two cards for this because the children learn that this grapheme, a grapheme is what a sound looks like written down and can be a letter or groups of letters. This grapheme can say in words like moth and bath, but it can also say in words like this and that. And we encourage them to feel that buzziness on their tongue to distinguish between the two. They also learn ng as a consonant digraph. This is a tricky one, but what this is classed as a digraph because there is only one movement in the neck area. Ng, ng. You can feel it in your throat. And our aid memoir is a king on a wing. We then move on to our vowel digraphs. These are two vowels that make one sound. So we have A, rain on a train. E, a bee on a tree. You can see that all of our special catchphrases are on our Overchurch Infant spelling chart. We made this ourselves based on research that we've done and lots of different models that we've seen, and we've decided this is the best one for our children. So the sounds are in bold across the top for the children at phases 2 and 3, and when they move into phase 5 later on in the school, all the different representations are underneath. It just really helps when they're making those spelling choices as they get older. But your children will be bringing one of these home, but they are only expected to know the sounds that are in bold across the top of each row. Okay, back to our phase 3 caption cards. This one is actually a trigraph. A trigraph is 3 letters that make one sound. And the children are good at remembering this because they know words like triangle and tricycle and triceratops all mean 3. And our aid memoir is high flight. O, a goat in a coat. Oo, room on the broom. The children also learn that the grapheme can say like in look or book. And our aid memoir here is a good book. So this grapheme can say oo, like room, or up, like book. They also learn curly fur, short horse, stars in a jar, oi, queen in the soil, ow, everybody's favourite, a cow in a towel. Or We teach the children that this can say but in lots of words with R pronunciation, where we live, it says at the end of words, like a better, letter, or teacher, or hammer, or ladder. This trigraph does say air, a chair with hair. And our final trigraph says ear, and ear to hear. So we work on these with the children, playing our games, going over them. We also use them to model the letter formation. So we will go round as we're saying the sound. Ch, 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 ch. And the children will have a go at air writing before they put pen to paper. When we're ready, we move on to actually blending to read phase 3 words. Blending is the process of saying the sounds in order all the way through the word. Let me show you. Farm. Can you see how I push a button under each one? Farm, and draw the invisible line to show that we are blending the word. Lots and lots of practice here, otherwise children will go mum, and they will think of a word that begins with the last sound. So it's that repetition of blending all the way through and then going back and saying it again. Similarly with k, ow, cow. We're asking your children to use the strategy of spotting the digraph or trigraph first before they read the words on our special flashcards. This means that we encourage them to look for before they have a go at doing the whole word. Look why this is important. This is what we see young children doing. Hurt, hurt, and then they get confused. If they look for the digraph first and they've already identified that this says it's much easier. Hurt. So really focus on that with your children at home, getting them to spot the digraph first. We also have a focus on learning to read tricky words. Tricky words are on blue in all of Overchurch Infants Phonics resources, just so they stand out for the children and they're noticeable and they know that they cannot be sounded out. They are tricky. When I was younger, we used to learn these by sight, but now we don't. We teach them by teaching the tricky bit. So in the word he, which is a phase 3 tricky word, the h is not tricky, but this part of the word is. This grapheme, we're used to saying because that's what we've learnt so far. However, in this word, it actually says e, making it he. So this is the tricky part of the word that needs remembering. Similarly with go. G is not tricky. Children learnt that at phase 2 when they learnt g for goat. This is the tricky part. We know that this grapheme so far as o, but in this word it says o. These words are tricky at phase 3 but won't be as the children learn different representations as they progress through the school. So they're only tricky words for a limited period of time. But they're really, really important. In every one of our books that we are now sending home, we spent a lot of money on big cat 4 letters and sounds, and hopefully you're enjoying those with your children. If you open the front cover, on the left-hand side, it lists the tricky words that are covered in that book. And it's a really good idea to go through those first with your children so that they are aware of the tricky bits, and that can help them. The rest of the words in the book should be at their phonics level as we have carefully assessed your children and matched the book to their needs. An integral part of our phonics programme here at Overchurch is Robot Rex, because he teaches us that sound talk is absolutely crucial when we are learning to spell. Before we learn to spell any word, we sound talk it, we count the phonemes, and then we start to represent those phonemes in different ways. So watch me. Meat. Robot Rex would say, eat. Meat. The children would try, eat. Meat. Then we would have a go at representing that word. First of all, it might be with magnetic letters. E. And I can highly recommend, I've got this for my children at home, as well as the children in school, Rainbow Phonics, which is available on Amazon, because the digraphs and the trigraphs are already joined for you and are in different colours, so they make them stand out for the children. I'm not on commission, but that's my recommendation. So the children might make them with magnetic letters. They might make them with word building cards that we blue tack onto the board. And then we look into writing. In every phonics lesson, we want children to be writing and spelling as well as reading words. The children will sit at a table with paper and pencil for all writing. Although I'm modelling with a whiteboard pen, we've moved away from the children using whiteboard pens as the pressure doesn't feel the same as a pencil. And we want them to sit at the table with their correct pencil grip and the correct posture. So I would model the word eat, meat. We would blend to check eat, meat. I would then hide the word and the children have a turn themselves. Just really helps it to embed it in their memory that we've sound talked it, counted the phonemes, represented the phonemes as graphemes, which are letters or groups of letters, and we've checked it before we hide it and they have a go themselves. It's all about storing it in the children's memory. And we'll do that approach when we're learning to spell tricky words too. I hope that's been useful for you. Any questions about Phase 3 phonics, please get in touch with your child's class teacher. Thank you for listening.